In 1866, the Coopersville Methodist Church celebrated its centennial, 100 years of serving the Lord in this community. The church started in 1866 with a group of about 10 folks who forming what was known as a Methodist society. And from that, the church has grown and changed and continued serving God and our neighbors all over the world. For that centennial celebration, the church put together a special directory that year. I found a copy of it in my office a couple weeks ago when I was cleaning, and this morning I was flipping through it and I found a letter that the pastor at the time, David Nelson, wrote to the church, honoring the past and casting a vision for the future. Now, I was struck by what he wrote, and I want to share just a little bit of it for you today. Pastor Nelson said this: "The pioneers who established the Methodist Society 100 years ago would probably recognize the church buildings, as the outside is not so much different now than it was then. The inside has changed very radically in the last 90 years. The worship services have changed, the people have changed, the pastors have changed, and even the style of preaching has changed. What has not changed is man's need for the saving grace of Jesus Christ. Whatever the future may hold for Christ's church in general, and for this church in particular, of this I am sure, that the mission and task is now, as it was then, to help people come to accept the gift of God's love through his Son, Jesus Christ. This has been the glory of the past and is the challenge of the future." In the 58 years since he wrote this, the church has changed even more. A new denomination, a new building in a new location, new worship styles, a woman pastor, and now we're moving toward another change, adopting a new name. But what hasn't changed, as Pastor Nelson put it, is humanity's need for the saving grace of Jesus Christ. So when we launch Faith Community Church of Coopersville on Easter Sunday, we won't be forgetting the past and who we have been. In fact, we will be carrying on a long and faithful tradition of serving God and our neighbors and doing all we can so that others may know that saving grace as well. I echo Pastor Nelson's closing words in that letter where he said, "I pray that 100 years from now, that God's fellowship here established will be found continuing, and that others may know that truly here may be found God's people chosen to serve him."